Denmark is a pretty small country. It's about 1/16 of the size of Texas, for example, half the size of Blame F's arms. One has to wonder where they find the space for all these giant brains. Glaive, Carrigan, MSL, Blame F, Cadian, and the protagonist of today's story, Snappy.
Schni-Schna-SNAPPI, Snappi, Snappi, Snap.
No, not that one. Snappy was often considered the odd one out. While Carrigan was off winning events and Glaive was off building one of the greats, Snappy was studying the game. But if it wasn't for our plucky little crocodile friend, Glaive might never have become what he became. It was Snappy who was his leader on Heroic all the way back in 2016. He taught him everything he knows. After an impressive stint on Copenhagen Wolves, Snappy was brought in to lead Heroic to glory. He was already a veteran back then, having started playing 1.6 professionally in 2008. His now teammate Spinks was 8 years old when Snappy started playing. This wasn't Snappy's first rise to the top, but this one looked to be the biggest one in Global Offensive at least. He led Heroic to some solid results with occasional breaks into the top 4 at events, and with the addition of Yugi became a top 10 team for a little while. They'd even overtaken fellow Danes North despite an infinitely smaller budget. Snappy had done it again. However, one thing Snappy's Heroic had always lacked was that big trophy, the marquee run, the big boy, and that is likely what tempted him to move to Optic. While things started off well, Snappy still couldn't find that big trophy. A second place at DreamHack Open Summer in 2018 looked to be the turning point for the roster, but they were plagued with inconsistencies as ever. The ultimate shame for Snappy came when he was usurped from his IGL role and forced to work under long-term rival MSL. Snappy dipped, and his second spell on Heroic finally brought him the glory his career had deserved. First places at a DreamHack Open and a GGBet Winter Cup event might not be as big as winning an ESL event, right guys? But it's better than you've done, Mr. YouTube commenter. That wasn't enough though, and Snappy soon found his way to Contact, but a terrible time there looked like it might be the end of a storied, but ultimately anticlimactic career. Until now. As Glaive stumbles, MSL disappears and Cadian struggles, Snappy is having a massive resurgence. Pro Leagues are a culmination of everything he and Ents have been building, and it was beautiful. Few could argue that Ents weren't one of the best teams there, and though they couldn't overcome FaZe in the final, the fruits of Snappy's labour are becoming ripe once again. A ragtag bunch of hungry young players with something to prove, and the man who has proven himself over and over again. He himself is more than just brains. At this event he brought the brawn too. At 31 years old, Snappy is in some of the best form of his life, and Ents might just be the best team he's ever built. They say that if life isn't up and down, then you're not living. From the ill-fated Optic move to the disappointing, almost career-ending spell on Contact, Snappy has struggled at times, but the high points on Heroic have made it all worth it, and he's looking to go one better and turn Ents into the super team they look destined to be. Ents are one of the best teams in the world, and Snappy can finally bask in the glory of being one of CSGO's most revered, tenured and feared in-game leaders. Snappy is well and truly alive, and his crescendo is loud and clear.